Well, welcome everyone. I kind of chatted and said hi to a few of you. My name's Kate. I'm one of the lecturers for screen production. I mostly teach in the area of screenwriting. At the moment, I'm supervising some of the students' graduate projects, in which Jaden here is one of our graduate students who I'm very surprised is here today because he has a shoot starting on Monday. And that's his major work of 5 days. And he's doing a one-take short film of 16 minutes.
Yeah, probably close to the 20-minute mark.
20 minutes. So he has a lot to kind of be thinking about right now, but I think you're in a pretty good place, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. No worries. I wouldn't be if I was stressing.
And this is Lottie, the head of performing arts at Excelsia, who makes sure that all the courses are kind of like fun and engaging and what students need to be learning and enjoying. So I've been teaching here for about 2 years now, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I've taught at a few different places, and I find that the students are all really engaged in what they're learning. And at the moment, I've got second year students who there's about 14 students in the class, and they're all making a short film this semester, up to about 7 minutes each. So then they're all in groups of 4 or 5, and they're all directing, and then they work on each other's films in those groups of 4 or 5, and they take different roles like producing, editing, like the producer's doubling up as a first AD. It's just to give students, proper experience in making a short film. I mean, we're kind of, traveling a fine line between really pushing them to extend their skills, but also letting them to explore filmmaking in all the different ways. So they've written the scripts in the semester beforehand. So they've been working towards this moment of shooting their films, and then we teach in 12-week blocks. So around week 5 to about 9, they're shooting their films, 8. And then they'll go into post-production where they'll edit it, do the sound, and just kind of like complete it. And then we'll probably do a screening for the short films, which is very likely. So, Jaden, do you want to tell us a little bit about your kind of experience learning film at Excelsia?
Yeah. Where to start? Well, pretty much the start of the course. The thing I liked about it is the fact that you learn a bit of everything in your first year, and it's a good way for you to kind of figure out exactly what you want to get into. If that's either directing, writing, the cinematography, or the editing side, regardless what department you'd like to get into. You do still make your first a film in your first year, and that is more to give you a taste of what it's like first off. Then as it comes into your second year, is a good opportunity for you to actually put those skills really to the test and kind of figure out, and where you've hopefully figured out exactly what you want to be getting into. So that way, by the time you come to your third year, which is what I'm in now, you can kind of really hone in on these skills and refine them. So that way, by the time you leave, you can hit the ground running pretty much. So that's a quick rundown of roughly what you would do in those 3 years, or my experience of it. But I guess the best possible way to learn is by putting the skills to the test, and the best way to do it is by actually making the films. Like, for example, I've made about 4 throughout the 3 years I've been here, and I think it's been great because, like I said, I've been able to put my skills to the test, directing, even doing some of the camera work, especially working on my other 4 classmates projects, and in total over the 4 years, that's quite a few projects at least we've had experience working on, I'd say.
So how would you say your trajectory for knowledge and understanding has been over the course of the 3 years? Like from when you first started to where you are now, it's actually quite a nice bookend.
Yeah.
Where do you think you are?
To be honest, I'd say I've done quite a very large leap. I first got into the course really not knowing a lot, really basic camera work, how to take photos and stuff like that. I always knew I wanted to get into directing, but I was never really exposed to the rest that was actually in the film industry. And I'd say by the time I got to the end of the course, I kind of realised how important each department's role is. So much more exactly. Now I've gotten so much idea of how to operate camera, how to set up a scene properly, and the lighting, as well as open me up to different opportunities besides directing. It's something direct can be hard to get into. So yeah, it does open up a lot of doors, and I find doing this course allowed me to learn all those different options that I have access to very, very, very well. So yeah, it gave me a good broad knowledge in really everything. Yeah, I'd have to say.
I bet you've had some hairy moments as well making films.
Oh yes, some bad moments, but I guess you learn from the mistakes is the best way. Like learning by doing it and by making mistakes is the best way to learn, because at the end you have to make your own mistakes to learn from.
That's pretty much filmmaking as well, yes?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just because because it's a bachelor, there are some sort of extra kind of units that you might take in a bachelor that you might not take in, if you're doing a shorter course or something like that. And so I was wondering what your experience was with, say, the philosophy of the contemporary filmmaker and the life of the filmmaker, those units that are not exactly to do with handling cameras and that sort of thing, but they're there to kind of help you develop your own sort of philosophy and worldview of your own filmmaking?
Yeah, 100%. Like, because it is a bachelor degree, you do have the theory subjects as well, part of it. And I'd have to say they are very, very helpful for the fact when it comes into, especially the creative side, when it comes to coming up with the ideas, learning from what's like, for example, I think I've had one subject, the philosophy subject, as well as screen history. And it's a really good idea to kind of help you when you're coming up with ideas, as well as really learning from the past, what worked, what didn't work. And because there's a lot more to filmmaking than just the practical side of knowing how to operate gear and having to work with a crew, as like a lot of those theory subjects, like I always say, they come in extremely handy than just operating gear. Definitely, 100%.
Oh, well, thank you. Let's just
we'll
just get on with our little presentation. So, and that's a perfect opportunity just to kind of segue into, so that's, what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a mini lecture, and then you're going to have a bit of a go at making a little short exercise. And that's pretty much what we do teaching here at Excelsia, is we work to build your screen language. Yeah, so we've got the theoretical side where you do the theory subjects, and then we also work to build your technical skills as well. So we can't see that you can have one without the other. You really, it's really important to be building your screen literacy. So, for example, we teach theory subjects, and perhaps one kind of film movement that you might explore in a theory subject is auteur theory. Okay, has anyone heard of it before? Auteur. Okay, let me pull my slide up. Up until film hasn't actually been around that long. Like, you think about it, the late 1800s to 1900s, they're still only got physical cameras. So they haven't actually got movie cameras. So, early 1900s, Edison, quite a few of these kind of early kind of people were experimenting with all this different equipment. So it was basically, you had 1920s, you had Russian formalism, you had montage theory. That was the kind of start of film theory. But then we're kind of jumping here to post-World War II, where we've got this kind of rise of auteur theory. And not to bore you, not to go on and give you a really heavy kind of thing into film theory, but it's such a kind of influential film movement that kind of still influential in film and television to this very day. So basically, there were some key people that kind of, centered at within auteur theory, which is André Bazin. He started the French magazine called Cahiers du Cinéma in 1951. Okay, so you might think, well, who's an auteur? What is an auteur? So we have contemporary auteurs that you probably would know the names of. People like, who's heard of Steven Spielberg? Yeah, okay, so he's considered an auteur. Who has heard of, sorry, I'm just having, Martin Scorsese. I think all the parents will probably put their hands up, yeah? Taxi Driver, Godfather, all those films. Have anyone seen the Grand Budapest Hotel? Yeah. What else do you think? Memento. Christopher Nolan. You might not. His name's probably not as kind of synonymous with this kind of with auteur theory, but he did films like Inception. Who's seen Inception? Yep. And Memento. So this is what we try to do, is we try to kind of like introduce you to all these different filmmakers, and auteur is very significant kind of theory within film criticism. So, okay. So basically an auteur is, there was this kind of like a coding of what an auteur is. Within these kind of this rise of film criticism. So it's basically a director has to be a good director. They're technically competent, right? The second thing is that they have the personality and signature style. You might recognise this face. Who knows who that is? Alfred Hitchcock. So these early theorists, such as Andrew Saris and the rise of the French New Wave, they really admired Alfred Hitchcock. They basically said that his films had a high technical competence, and that the films that were made were like, if you watched an Alfred Hitchcock film, you would know it's an Alfred Hitchcock film. So this is what auteur is. It's like when you watch a film, and you know that who has directed that film. There's a signature to their style of filmmaking. So there's also things like cameo appearances. Can anyone think of another really well-known auteur? Dad? Can you think of one?
James Cameron.
James Cameron, yeah. Excellent. Jaden?
I was going to say that was real. I'm not in the headspace for it. Sorry, I'm just thinking about.
Sorry, you've got so much on your mind too.
Yeah.
Grace, can you think of anyone? Who directed Pulp Fiction?
Oh, Tarantino.
Yeah. So he's probably one of the most well-known contemporary auteurs. So we probably look at his style of filmmaking. Like, what do you think he's kind of like? How would you define his kind of filmmaking? What's kind of certain aspects do you
A lot of overly
identify?
Violent and vulgar.
Yep, overly violent and vulgar. Excellent. Skylar.
I was going to say like Stan Lee or something.
Sorry?
I was going to say Stan Lee as a auteur.
Auteur?
Yeah.
But what about Quentin Tarantino? Like, what do you think is kind of defines his style?
I'm not too sure.
Cool. This is what we do though. It doesn't matter that nobody knows it. Like it's just we're building people's literacy. Emma, do you know?
No clue.
Chris?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yep. Yeah, he's definitely an auteur as well. Yep. We have now auteur theory has kind of moved on. It's an evolving theory. Like all theories are evolving. They're never static. But we now are even looking at saying that showrunners are auteurs of television shows such as Handmaid's Tale, things like that. But there's a lot of criticism about this theory as well, saying that one director should not be central to a film. That film is about a team effort. Yeah, that there's so many different people from so many different departments that are working on the film to bring it together and to give it its visual style. Such as the DOP. Anyone interested in camera?
It's great. Awesome.
the camera person put their hand up.
It's great.
We talk a lot about being indie filmmakers as well, and like the thing about being an indie filmmaker is you do learn every aspect. Like you learn how to direct your film, you learn how to do the camera on it, you learn how to do the post-production on it. Like yesterday Thursday I had the first years. They all had to pass a technical competence test. So leading up to that, they had they got to play with the cameras. And then and the sound equipment and the lighting, and we just did basic 3-point lighting setups. But they got to play with all this equipment, and they're all learning. Like absolutely no idea. But you know, that's what we're here, is to create a learning environment so that you just don't feel a bit anxious about you know, or being, you know, feeling out of your depth. So okay, this screen is pretty much empty, visual grammar. This is where we teach you some kind of like, you know, some terms and technical words to put a film together, because in a minute we're about to do an activity. So I thought I would get some visual grammar up on that board to so that to help you with making your short films that we're going to make in a minute. So I've spoken to a few of you, and I've worked out that you're doing media for the HSC. So who's that? Who's doing media for the HSC at the moment? And who has not done anything at all? And absolutely, it doesn't matter at this stage. This is what, you know, this is what you're here for. So what are some kind of camera shots that you might have used in school already, Scarlett?
Yeah, those POV shots.
Point of view, yep. So what's point of view shot?
In the perspective of something.
Perspective of the person who's looking, of the character?
Yeah.
Okay. What are some other shots?
Eagle eye,
Eagle eye, yep. What's eagle eye?
just straight down from like
From a
tall
position? Yeah. All right, let's do some, okay, let's do LS. Do you know what that is?
Is that long shot?
Yep. Emma, you didn't do film before.
Or learned in English like year 9 or something.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Anyone else got any? Throw them at me. Don't hold back.
Extreme close up.
Extreme close up. Okay. What does that mean?
It's extremely close
Oh
up.
yeah, sorry. ECU. I was like, what's ECU? Yeah. Extreme close up. Okay. More?
Over the shoulder shot.
Over the shoulder. So what does that mean?
It's like the camera's like just behind the shoulder of the actor.
Perfect. Yep. What else? Does anyone know what this means? MCU?
Medium close up.
Medium close up.
What about 2S? Two shot.
Two shot. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, just pretty much two characters in the one scene, and you just give them both pretty much any frame. So it might be like a medium shot a bit further away from them, so you can still see both of them and what's happening in that shot. In that scene.
Excellent. We haven't got pretty much one of the most classic shots, close up. It's close up. What about in terms of film camera movement?
You've got pan,
Pan, which is,
and the camera is going from left to right.
yeah,
And then you've got tilt, which is up and down. You also got tracking. You can make a list that covers the whole board.
this is, okay, we're going to stop there because I don't want to do too much. But you got a locked off shot, that means that's a locked off shot, right? The camera's mounted on a tripod, it's locked off, it's not moving, okay? And then a tracking is where it's moving at the same time as the characters are moving through a room. Okay. So, making a film is as simple as this. It's a combination of these shots that you pick that you want to use to tell a story or to tell a scene, okay? So you might go from, so after they've done their scripts, they always go to doing a script breakdown and then a shot list, right? So that this is what they're designing, is they're designing all of these combination of shots, the best shots that they can in combination with lighting in order to tell a story. So this is what filmmaking is.